Welcome to the Workbench with your hosts Tommy Burgess and Anthony Del Grosso. Enjoy the show.
Hey, what's going on, Anthony?
Man. Another day, another dollar.
You got a pay raise. I'll make 50 cents.
I didn't say what dollar, if it was doll hairs or dollar.
Dog hairs. Mm. Oh, me. So tonight's episode covers some topics that you don't hear people talk about. Well, one topic you hear people talk about. We're going to talk about bodies, aerodynamics, wings, all in the first half of the show. And then Rodney Centers wanted me to talk about motors, KV, FDR, rotors, blah, 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 blah. So we'll dive into that. I am 100% sure that there'll be some people shrugging their shoulders, and there'll be some people going, well, that's right. That makes sense. Some people, well, that don't make sense. But the whole goal is tonight is to give you some personal educational experiences that myself and Anthony have had and try to help everything. So I guess we'll kick it off pretty easy we'll just talk about bodies, just in general. Basically, in my estimation, you really have four manufacturers of bodies. You have the OG of the OG, and that is the Proline Corvette. Still winning. Yeah, Old Faithful, still winning races. I don't know what body Junior had on this weekend, but Junior is known to run a Proline.
He usually runs Proline a lot.
Yeah, so then we have Shark RC bodies, and he's got a few offerings, 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, depending on what you want to do. Then we have R1 has a body. And am I missing it? Oh, Dan, Racer RC. So that's 4.
And I'm not sure Ken DRC Dragworks.
So all of that has been transferred to Paul at Shark. He has all the molds now. So gotcha. Paul has all the DRC stuff. That's convenient. That's 4. You've got who makes the man? Is that J Concepts?
I think so.
So you got the Manta. That's the J Concepts body. Trying to think of who else. If I'm missing a body manufacturer, I do apologize. But so for the most part, the Corvette and a freak showish type body. There's a 57 Chevrolet. There's a 55 Chevrolet. There's the Paul's got a couple of different variants that are very similar to the freak show. Only thing you run from Proline is the Corvette. That's the only thing they make. R1 makes the same body, but in a couple different thicknesses, maybe 3 thicknesses. Yeah. Let's see. Racer RC, he's got the 69 Camaro, which is a really good looking body. He's also got the LS, was it 23s or 24s, which is a vet. He's got his own version of a 55, 57 Chevrolet shoebox car. So lots of, and for some of you guys that are running, running like bracket or running something like that, Proline's got some stuff, some other bodies that are available. The Nova. Who makes that little damn Celica and it's not the one that Shark makes?
No, Biddy Bodies makes a couple of them.
Biddy makes a Camaro and
makes a Camaro else. And it Mustang. Makes the Mustang.
Yep.
Yes. Who is that one?
I'm trying to think who makes that little Celica. It might be Proline. Because cool. John 3J runs it in Pro Stock. And while it looks like a turd, it has let's talk about something. In limited horsepower classes, aerodynamics means a lot. You don't have enough power to overpower the track. So efficiency and aerodynamics means a lot. And that little old Celica is it's pretty damn good for that. It's small footprint. You don't really need a wing when you run Pro Stock. I don't think he runs a wing on, or if he does, he runs the one that comes with it. It's maybe a half inch.
Drive RC, that was one of them.
Yep, Drive RC. Yep, Proline makes the GTR. Yep. So there's, like I said, there's all kinds of bodies. Myself personally, I get supported by Paul, and my body of choice has been the Black Widow now for a year and a half, 2 years now. It's what I ran in all my dry tires, what I ran in prep when I was running some prep. Uh, People talk about, oh, the freak show's better for this, better for that. To each his own. I rely heavily on a package deal. I have a body that gives me certain aspects when mounted correctly that I look for. And then, like, the wing I run for a while was my own wing, and Kevin made it. Was kind of made for me. I said, hey, this is how I want my wing when you send it. And it turned out that Kevin, Caldwell Raceworks, that same wing is produced for everybody. Now, it's just a little taller wicker, is all it was. I wanted something a little taller than what we have for prep cars. I think it's ½ inch, if I'm not mistaken. Ish, might be 3/8. So, there's a lot of different ways you can go with body. In unbiased media coverage here, because we ain't like the political realm. Guys, the Proline Corvette, that's a staple in my opinion. That's like, if you show up with one, it's not like you're not at a gunfight with a knife. You're at a gunfight with a knife that's like really sharp on top of a car and on top of a gun. So it's really that good. Paul has good body offerings. Black Widow, the Freak Show, he just released a new one. It's kind of an Impala looking thing. So you've got offerings from Shark. When you talk about the R1 body's been fast. I think they call it a rapid transportation body, RTC or RTD, whatever it is.
It looks like the Batmobile to me. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
It's a hair. So I actually have body. I have an R1 body here that I've had for a couple of years. I've got a LS. I've got a Blim body that Paul sent me for a practice car, Black Widow. I've got an F2. I wasn't a fan of the F2 because it doesn't mount really well with my car. So, as I'm getting text messages, there we go. Good job, Jeff. So there's a lot of things, excuse me, to look at with that. So Corvette, 55 Chevrolet or Shoebox Chevrolet seems to be the predominant bodies. I know Tom runs the freak shows, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Ken Loopy and Rick
both
Talbot
run. Yep.
both run them. Do I think it's an advantage? I don't know. Like, dude, when you're in prep, the advantage is knowing how to run the prep. That's more of an advantage than the body is. Trust me. For limited, I can see potentially in sketchy places, bad racetracks. I can see the freak show having an advantage in the shutdown, maybe a little bit in mid-track, maybe. The pro lines, I think they're pulled out of 30 thousandths. Paul's are out of 40 and 60. So there's body weight, something to consider. I've seen a fully cut out, painted, winged Proline vet tip the scales at 198 grams one time.
Frank.
Might have been.
Yeah.
Might have been black. Black.
He's like, he's like over there weighing the paint. It's like, what are you doing, man? I'm only going to put 97.
Well, there's a reason he runs black paint, because it takes the least amount to cover. The darkness. So I think my fully decked out Shark, I'm pretty sure my fully decked out Black Widow with my wing package that I run is 245, 250. Heavy, a little heavier. Some guys 260, 270. But now we'll talk about that. Since we're talking about weight. RC paint. Let's see here. This is dirt tracks. I've got some Tamiya, potato, however you want to call it. Some people will go out here to AutoZone and they'll buy a big can of automotive like dye paint for your seats or whatever, because they offer all kind of colors. We can
Same way.
spray we can spray coat to coat, and your body will be 20 or 35 grams heavier minimum. That paint is not designed for thin coverage. It's designed for layered coverage. Or in the case of like the dye paint, it's really not designed for what you use it for, but it works because it's got flex agent in it and it lets you re-dye seats, trim pads, stuff like that. Or no, excuse me, not seats. I'm sorry. Your plastic pieces, your trim pieces in your car. So that's why it works. So when you paint, the whole idea is not to use the whole can of paint, is to spray a light coat on, let it flash for a couple minutes. Especially in the summertime, you can probably wait 2 minutes between coats and you're fine. You would like to ideally with maybe 3 light coats be done. And if you look and you kind of feel like you can almost see through the car, you're perfect.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone, because by the time you put it down on the ground, it darkens up. Remember, when you hold it up with light to see if you got coverage, you're looking at it in its worst, its worst genre to see if it's covered. Wings, several wing manufacturers out there. A lot of people have, let's see if I got them where I got. Yeah, hell. Everybody's got scissors. Another thing, let's talk about scissors before I go any further. When you're trimming your body, there's all kind of tools to trim your body. I cut my wheel wells a certain way. I use little templates, for the front, for the back. I got a certain way to do it. My favorite scissors to trim bodies are Biddy Design. They are the best scissors. I have the straight right here and the curved.
And the curved?
Absolutely. I mean, they hold up good. They leave a good, crisp cut. Also, I always tell people, please take the time to round your edges, put a little radius on them, around like points and stuff like that. I have this, this is a Proline wheel well sander.
Works beautiful.
You can smooth anything up. When you mount your wing, I'll show you what I use. I mount the plate, the deck by eye and get it squared up. And then, we bolt it together. And I use these right here to clip it and put the yaw, or excuse me, the pitch in the wing. With just some clamps from Harbor Freight with a piece of duct tape on them so it's easy on the body. There's a lot that can be, I learned last year, there's a lot that can be lost or gained in body rake. I built a car for maximum downforce. And while it ran good, it ran some of them shitty 89 and 91 mile an hour passes. That's unacceptable in my, for me. I don't like that. I don't like running 89 or 90. Everybody else is running 96. That's bull butter.
Jimmy Wells. Does anyone make the templates for the Black Widow wheel wells? What Tommy is referring to, the ones that Tommy uses are ones that he created.
So, okay.
There are things out there. I know David Dunn makes a set of those wheel arches.
So right here, guys, this is from old buddy. Anybody watch? I don't know if it's Xfinity this year, the Busch in NASCAR.
Yep.
So Danny Stockman, who is the crew chief for Jesse Love, who won the championship last year in Xfinity. I think is it O'Reilly's this year? I think it's O'Reilly's.
It's O'Reilly's.
Okay, me and Danny's pretty good buddies. DSI, Danny Stockman Enterprises. Danny made them for me for the dirt oval car, and it works really good. And what I do is, I've got a tool from TP3D. It's a little, you think I'm talking about all this shit and I'd have it out.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
All my stuff's still put away from when I went to Pennsylvania. I haven't.
Okay. Oh, looky here. Lord, let me find it. Ha 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 ha. So TP3D.com, Tyler Price 3D. Makes this little thing right here. Okay. So it's offset. Yep. And if you look on the sides of that 10 millimeter, if you put 10 down, that means when you put your Sharpie marker on, it will let you mark a 10 millimeter off the ground or 8 or whatever. Yep. Great tool. It's dirt oval. This thing's probably 6 years old. It's traveled from here to Vegas to everywhere. So Works really good. Now, when I mount my body, and y'all gonna laugh at me, I use SpaghettiOs to mount my body. And everybody's gonna be like, huh? First thing I do on a shark body, I take a mark and draw right through the center of the front wheel well, where it should be. There's a little dot.
Yep.
And I do that 90. So it lets me know where if I want to mount it perpendicular to straight across from the axle, gives me all that. So I take my car and I get 4 cans of SpaghettiOs. And yes, I do still eat SpaghettiOs. I like SpaghettiOs with meatballs. And I set them down. And I set them down. Yeah, meatballs. I set them down. I set the car, race ready, battery and everything in it at ride height. I set it on those 4 cans. What that does is it sets the suspension. Okay, we're all running floating body mounts now, so you kind of need to how some people run a lot of droop. Your post might do like that at droop, and then when you set it on the ground, it's like, oh, damn body don't fit. Imagine that shit. But anyway, so I do that, get it where I want it now. If you move the body forward, you'll have more forward bite in the car. If you move the body back, you have more rear bite in the car, so to speak. It's more a function of weight. The difference between a shark body Corvette and a Proline Corvette for me is 1 to 1.5% rear weight. Yeah, I get more rear weight with a shark than I do a Proline when I was running them. So just something to think about. The freak show would be even more because you have even more shit out the back. So something to think about, guys, when you're mounting a body. Also, making sure the body, if you need to, it's got the protective film on it. Draw you a line down the center. Make sure everything's centered up. You get the body cattywampus.
Is that the suspension?
Well, what it'll do is you'll line the body up straight and the car will be pointed crooked. The chassis, the most important part. I always tell everybody, I line my car via the wheelie bar.
Mm-hmm.
The body, it's going to move around a little bit because I oversize the holes maybe 30 or 40 thousandths so it'll float. When you mount a body, you don't want anything to bind. Like I told you, if you go to put your body on and it just don't fall on the car, you got something wrong. Talk about wings. Pick your wing manufacturer. Run them. I would be remiss to sit here and tell you, and my wingman might get mad at me, Gary might get mad at me. You didn't outrun me because of your wing, and I didn't outrun you because of mine. It's a damn spoiler lip on the back, guys. It's form, fit, function. It does its thing. Pick one with the quality you like, from who you want to buy it from, and everything will be fine. No wang wars here. Hardware, wang wars. I run titanium screws in mine. Does it matter? No. I just happen to be able to get a really good deal on like 1,000 of them one time, so I did it.
That makes sense.
You do what you got to. Now, something to think about too, a airbrushed body is lighter than a rattle can body. Frank Ulbrich might be the only one who could rattle can a light body. So the reason being, it has a greater dispersion and lays down flatter, so it takes less paint to do the same job. High weight in the car is not good weight. Let's see here. I brace my body. Some people don't. Some people do. There's reasons. Like on a Shark, when I cut my wheel wells, behind the front tires kind of pop out a little bit. Well, if I don't pull them back in, it's going to pull air. It can pull the car right or left, or actually just make more drag in the car. In the back, most of us all run some kind of brace behind the rear tire, some in front, depending on what body you run. I know the freak shows are braced up a little more heavily. LS23s need a nose brace, all that stuff. So make sure if you're running 100 mile an hour, you can keep the aerodynamics where you want them. That always helps. See, always use a real mild cleaner on your bodies. Brake cleaner is really not what you want. It's just it'll mar it, turn it hazy. Let's see what else.
Foggy.
Yeah, you'll get that old dog eye look.
Yeah, don't leave the rag sitting on top of your body either, guys.
It'll melt it.
It'll melt right to the body.
It melt it. Also, like for the GFRP guys, see if I got one right here that ain't beat shit. Y'all can see I've got a piece of foam that it rides on. I got a little piece of flat foam you get off Amazon. It's weather stripping, and you can get it in different thicknesses. I've got it down to 1/16 up to 3/16. And we used to use that on the dirt oval bodies, stuff like that, around the bumper and stuff to keep the body from clattering on the bumper, because dirt oval cars don't run a floating body mount yet. I don't think they're going to ever allow it. They run a
That would be
stationary
the
mount.
ridiculous. I would actually like to see. That would be very interesting to see.
No, you've already got people in dirt oval that have a hard enough time. You start letting them run a floating body mount, it'll get even worse. It's hard. It's hard enough. It'd be funny though. It'd be funny. So
Yeah.
small things, body care. I got a little detail spray. Pick what detail spray. I wipe the cars down. Keep the dust off of them. Keep them slick looking. Because my painter guy, like I tell everybody, hashtag my paint guy's better than yours. Just biased to Jody. He's always done me good. So, I keep it clean. There's really not a lot in the body. I mean, look, Black Widows win, Freak Shows win, Pro Lines win, LS23s, the Race RC bodies win. I mean, pick something that you like that is relative, and you'll be just fine. I
think trimming their body is probably. I've seen a couple races, most recently and at the end of the year, where like some of the bodies that like I run, Widow, Freak Shows, Blesses, I run the Racers RC, his 23 or whatever it is, his Mustang body. Now, guys, if you have a full grill, you probably got too much. I mean, I slam my bodies like crazy. I get the front of that nose down. That's just me personally.
There's I probably run. I'm running about a third of the grill, the way I just rake the car out. I've seen fast guys run almost a full grill. Then there is an unlimited horsepower class, or maybe like in limited or dry tire, depending on what your rule set is. Body rate can slow you down, but in those classes, body rate really don't slow you down. It probably helps you a little more than what people want to admit. Opinions on the Andes RC Camaro from Nick. Nick, it's a good body. It's fast.
Yeah.
Then I'll tell everybody, like, well, it's not as sleek looking as this or that. Let me tell you a secret about sleek. In mine and Frank Ulbricht's slight small venture into pro mod with foam tire, we didn't understand why the guys would run the Aero 1 Mustang. Like, you could run. I had a Camaro. I can't remember what Frank had. Frank had something. And then Frank, the reason is the Mustang was more stable because it had front nose area to direct air. It just didn't run all over the top. It kind of done its job. And it was way more stable. Guys could go faster and the car stayed. Sometimes you give up a little aero bite, or if you want to call it drag in the car, downforce, sometimes make them drive better. The faster we go, aerodynamics kind of means something, along with other things, but something to think about. So Anthony, we've took up half the show on the first topic. Anything you can think of about bodies?
I mean, like you were saying, bracing is a huge thing in bodies. Selecting the right hardware you want to put on with your wing. Me personally, I know there's a bunch of different braces. I kind of really like the aluminum ones from Ken, because you can kind of bend them how you want. You can adjust them. The carbon rods are really nice, but if you know what I mean, they're kind of a one-time use. Better get it right, or you're drilling more holes in your body. That's just me personally, and they do work great. In certain situations, I will put them, but I usually like to use the aluminum ones just because I can kind of move them around, manipulate the body if it's doing something weird. I mean, but I kind of think you touched on it. I mean,
Kevin offers a Lexan version of a body brace.
Mhm.
That's what I've run. I've been with Caldwell now for a minute, and you know, he's got different links and everything. Like the plastic or the aluminum, like you said, gives you some flexibility to kind of tweak it a little bit. The carbon is what the carbon is.
Yes.
So you know it's made to be more rigid. They tend to break in a crash. That's where the plastic or the aluminum just gets bent up like a tin can. You just crinkle it back out. The plastic just pops right. You know, it does its thing. So if
I mean,
y'all any more questions about bodies or stuff, you have to.
you have to create.
Eh, I personally, if everybody wanted downforce, you'd be running a raked out vet. You wouldn't be running a 57. I'll tell you that.
Jason, you'd be running one of these things.
Yeah, and also you look at the windshield angles, stuff like that. Greenhouse,
I don't even
how
have a
air flows
fucking
up over the hips of the car. We could go down the rabbit hole with that. I prefer not to. I know what
No.
I've been asking. I've been asking Paul for a Pro Mod Mustang for a long time. I'm never going to get that, so I've succumbed to that. So, all right, second half of the show. Ronnie
Motors.
Mota, MOTA. Everybody's got a motor builder, somebody they use, some belief, whatever. I myself, long time, Nick Bell, man. Even though he does not venture off to general public drag racing builds no more, he still does mine because I am the OG drag guy for Nick. I am him. Him is me. So Nick takes care of me. It was funny. Last night I called Nick. I said, "Hey Nick, I think something wrong with the motor I ran in Texas." He said, "Why?" I said, "Don't feel like it's got no rotor left in it." I took it apart, looked at it, cleaned the bearings. If you clean the son bitch every now and then, Tommy, it probably runs better. So, yeah, well, I'm one of them don't run off winter dirt. So for most people, I've said it before, you know, show it here. This isn't the motor from Dallas, but it's its brother, 6600 DRK, standard DRK rotor with titanium hardware and some of Nick's bearings. That's my standard build I run. I do have, and this right here, I'm holding it because it's going to be like an artifact. This is the rare Nick Bell built HE. Not many of these around, and it's never been soldered. Or excuse me, as some of my redneck brethren call it saltering. Salt, SALTERING.
Right. Wow.
Kind of embarrassing to hear him say saltering, but it is what it is. This has got this whatever, and this is kind of weird. You know, the Volta comes with a different rotor.
Absolutely.
And this rotor here has 130 on it. And if I go back and look, as one of the people
who stock rotor.
Well, the 130 is the exact same rotor that came in the original black can release.
Yes.
And it's been in a black can forever. So, yes. I don't know. Basically, the HEs are supposed to be higher efficiency stators. You know, the stator side of it. The rotor, I can't say you don't gain efficiency through the rotor. You can gain efficiency through the rotor, but so in both of these are basically 65 to 6700 kV type motors, and kV stands for kilovolts, or 1,000. Excuse me, not kilovolts. Damn, Tommy. It stands for 1,000, basically 1,000 RPM per volt. So if I've got a 1,000 kV motor, that means if I put 1 volt to this motor, it will turn 1,000 RPMs. If I put 2, it'll turn 2. So most of these motors will, as advertised out of the box, they're set somewhere between 28 to 32 degrees.
Yep.
Except for a Ghost. I think a Ghost is a little bit lower. A Ghost comes out of the box at 20. They turn their advertised KV. Now, DRK does offer a 7,500. I call that small block. This is a big block. Ghost and the 7,500 DRK are basically 427-inch small blocks. And these boogers right here are more like 555s, big blocks.
Big blocks.
So 7,000, 7,400, 7,000 kV is common with the small block, and these are around, like the motor I put in my car last night is 7,100 kV, but it's a big block. You can run your timing where you want. Let's talk about timing here. Most of my motors are set on 28 to 29 now, or 30, 31. Now, there's a lot of things, and I do have a motorizer. I don't have a Sky RC motorizer. I have a Trinity motorizer that gives you way more in-depth detail about what you're doing. I also have a Mini Pro dyno that I don't use that much because I'm kind of scared that it's going to throw a bearing out and come through the house and kill somebody. I don't have the appropriate modified wheel for it. But we're going to get a heavier wheel so we can do that. Side point. So what you'll look at, you have input voltage, and people's going to argue with me in this, and I don't care. Pound sand, my car runs good, so we can talk about it. Show me mine, I'll show you yours.
Ooh.
All my test stuff and Nick's test stuff, because I have one, Nick does it too, is 3.71, 3.8 voltage. Basically, single cell voltage is what
1S.
1S.
Yep.
A lot of people want to do it on 2S, and I'm like, I don't want to stress the rotor free revving it. And two, you'll learn a lot about efficiency when you ain't got enough ass to push it. So when you're building a motor and you do it on 1S, it's indicative of finding the little things. The nuances will show up. If you want to build yours on 2S, that's fine. I'm okay with it. It does not bother me. It's not. Is it going to make a difference from winning a race? Probably not. It's something Nick's always done. It's something I agree with. From a principle standpoint.
A lot of the OG motor builders, do 1S.
Come from carpet.
It comes from carpet racing. 1S.
Yeah.
Efficient numbers. I know I do see a lot of guys with these motors. They get them back from people wherever they come from. Some of their numbers on their phases, 8.9, 9.5 per phase. I'm like, that's a lot. And then they go make a pass. And then they're like, hey, my battery's dying. I'm like, well, yeah.
So
you got yourself a hog there.
Some of the information Anthony's talking about on a motorizer, you'll see it'll tell you input voltage, 371, or whatever you want to put it at. And then you'll see current draw. Current draw is the amp draw of the motor. Then you'll have RPM, and you'll have which is your kV. So, and on a motorizer, if it gives you, let's say 16, let's say it gives you 13,000, you divide it in half. Yeah, you get a little slip in the things. So you can read into it what you want. Basically, when a motor turns up a lot of kV, at say 30 degrees, and you got another motor over here that's at 30 degrees, and it's down, let's say 1,000 kV. One motor's got more torque, one motor's got more RPM. Like its power band will be different. The higher the RPMs you see in a motor, naturally, it will want to turn a little more. Now, I'll talk about some enigmas with that thought process. That has been standard two-pole thinking for a long time. As we've run four-pole, we started out at 7.6, 7.4 FDR. Now we're up into the mid-12s in some instances. So
yes.
that's a learning process. So what has happened is you have to run way more FDR when you run open prep, because you need some ass. You need the granny gear to get out of the mud. It's just as simple as that. Not knocking the open prep. I'm just saying it's a way stickier, less conducive to leaving, especially when it gets stupid. The best you're ever going to get is like spray a little bit of PJ on the ground, run a coat of 2 PJ, and it's just, the car's just so much freer. So I want you to think about something. Technically, Yes, Desert Classic. Raise your question.
Raise your hands.
Technically, like at the Hillbilly, when I went 145 at 103, there were guys. The only reason they were faster than me, it was because they could out 6 foot me. So if you think about it, most of the time I was quicker. I was quicker than 85% of the field.
Absolutely,
in
I was
dry
there.
tire.
And 3/4 of the field and outlaw.
Yeah, so like I was the fastest car in at the Hillbilly for dry tire, and I was faster than 3/4 of the field in dry tire trim than prep. It's because it's easier to leave. I lean on the car, and if you think about it, I accelerate the car harder 126 foot down than the other guys do because I can't get after it as hard as I want up front. There's some guys running 190s, 2 flat, 6 foots. I was a 2.6 6 foot, which is I actually had a when I went 145, it went 251 6 foot. That's pouring some coal to it. Well, I'm going to answer your question there. And it's going to, when I answer that question, I think it'll piss some people off. But, oh, well, we're on this show. They ain't.
We're on the show. Well, I mean, go ahead. I'll chime in after.
We'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and answer that question. I don't know that I'll be able to do it. My past ETs and everything like that says, if you fuck around and run 89 mile an hour against me, I'll pull your fucking doors off when I come by at 100.
Yeah.
Sorry. I fully believe from what I've seen of that racetrack in Tucson, with it sprayed with PJ1, and you letting me run a coat of PJ1, which would give me even more grip than I normally have. I don't see why I couldn't have been running 155, 154 at 99 or 100. That vacuum car, and I love the fact those two kids are trying. I love that they're working on. I'm not worried about that car whooping my ass because it ain't whooped it yet. And I think it's in everybody's head right now that, oh shit, look, what do you want to do about it? Y'all want to outlaw it? You want to tell him you can't run it?
No, I think
he runs it off the battery, a single battery. It meets every requirement. The only thing I would tell people, and here's what I have said, in my opinion, because these kids, they're young men. Okay, they're not kids. I need to quit calling them kids. They're young men. They're not Mark Vine level. And what I don't want to see is a ducted fan being used as an alternate source of propulsion. I don't think that's in the spirit of what we do. Now, if he wants to use the fan to suck the car down, and so what JFab made them do, and they passed it, take the pinion off and turn the fan on. I want to see if the car goes forward, and it didn't.
Yep.
So that's all fair, but that ain't the Mark Vine element of it. Mark will figure out how to do that. So I think there needs to be a rule that if you pull the pinion off and it goes forward, that's just my opinion, that's illegal. But if you pull the pinion off and the car does not go forward, that's fine.
The only thing I would say from watching it, I wasn't there. Maybe it was just a little bit more audible on the video side of things. So
that bitch was screaming.
It was screaming. Now, and I can say maybe now some of the guys that I watch pretty religiously, and they got some really good reaction times. I have never seen Keyshawn have a 300 light in his life since I've been, watching him race. And he was racing against this car. And I can see in the video that he did maybe get a little thrown off or distracted by it. And I'm not gonna lie, when a thing kicks up, naturally you just kind of want to look over at it, like, what the hell is this thing doing? It was pretty audible. That's the only thing that I would even be like, hey, that's pretty loud. But As long as he passes, I don't really care. That's the only thing I could really see that might have caused some people some issues. Personally, I kind of like the idea. It's cool. It's different. Now, I think, guys, if we're gonna let something like that in, you boys might have you should have just let the Exotech car come in and play around. And I'll tell you why.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
oh.
You know what I mean? If you might as well just let them come and play. Like, why not? You guys really want to have some fun here?
Well, I mean, you've heard this saying, everybody wants to do big boy shit till it comes time to do big boy shit. And
Mhm.
what we don't want is this to turn into a pocketbook race.
Oh, that'll happen
Like,
real quick.
and if you don't wrangle things in when you see them first rear their head, it gets out of hand. And that's kind of my thinking is as long uh as long as you do not, as long as the car will not progress forward with the pinion off, if it will not free wheel forward, I'm okay with it. The only part, the only part about that is that we need to have that rule in place. That okay, fine, you want to run a fan off your single battery that's in the car, as long as it don't roll forward, you're okay. That's my thing with it. Some people may or may not, think the same thing. And Mike Bush is right. Does open up more cars for links, monoball suspension,
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you something. We only have 3 classes, guys. I know there's a bracket and there's some, index, but listen. So you have pro stock, you have limited or dry tire, depending on where you're at, and then you have prep. Let me tell you something. Anybody, and Mike will tell you this, the Exotech car is not for the normal person.
No.
And the reason being, if you tap the wall, you got to come back and put this bitch back on a setup station.
Yes.
You got to, like, it is not durable. So 70% of the people that race would not have a good time with it.
No.
I'm just saying, I'm not being mean. I'm just saying the complexity of the car lends to being complex at every level. That means
You have to understand that car. So I
yeah,
honestly, on road life for me, that car, I look at that car and I'm like, ooh, options are endless. Right. So,
yeah.
but you tap the wall, you look at it wrong, it tweaks. You got to put it on a tweak station. You got to put it on a setup station every time you make a pass and make any type of wrong move with it. It would definitely be a more of a hassle than what we do. But I mean, like we already know, would it be neat if we come in here and we got 4 link suspension and this and that? Like, sure, we've all thought about it. Has anyone done it yet? I've seen some like 3D printed ones and people making little things like that or whatever, but no one ever really put forth the real effort to say, hey, we're gonna open Pandora's box and see what we get out of it.
So Bryson Turner and Darren, I don't want to butcher your name up. I'm old redneck, can't speak real well. I understand where you're coming from. He says it should be allowed in open prep, not in limited. I understand the thought process behind that. In a limited traction class, you're adding traction with a fan. Not there's no disagreement there. You're 100% right. Like I said, and it's a credit to Mark. It's not vined, but Vine is going to have his hands in it. Then Tony is a separate class. Guys, what you don't need is 35 different classes at the racetrack. I think that's just my opinion. If y'all want to do if basically you're almost saying, do we want to do a run with your brung?
And that's kind of what when we first started this was kind of what it was. It was a run what you brung. I seen people bring out their kids used to come and they would have 4-wheel drive trucks. People would show up with whatever they had to race with us back in the day. We
Right,
didn't care. Now we got no, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. Well, I
right.
mean, the run what you brung is what got us all here, boys.
Jason's comment of it draws a crowd and draws interest to
It
the
does.
sport.
It
Hey,
does.
yeah, and so does bad news. Good news don't sell. just because it draws a crowd doesn't mean it's good for the sport. A lot of times, and I dealt with this, me and Jack Deerhart in the Dirt Oval, we had some, when I tell you, some tricked out bodies, cattywampus, load cell, specked out stuff. And then they made us pull all our crap back in, said it had to fit inside this box. And I got mad because we worked this hard to get to that level. And Jack said, and I quote, "Sometimes you've got to do what's best, even when it's not what is best for you. When it takes your advantage away, but the hobby will be better for it." Yeah, in prep, it's not that vacuum car is useless. I'll say it right now. It's useless in prep. That's not where it's meant to be. It's meant to be what it's running. Now, eventually, people have to decide this year. There's no rule against it. I'm sure that somebody will come up with something. It is what it is. That's way more effective and more efficient. The problem is, and this is going to be this is why I say the pinion off test. And then we're going to get back to motors. If it can't push the car forward, you're not getting any propulsion from it. But I want you to think about this. What does that? I would be interested to know what that car weighs when it's on.
Ooh, when it's actually pulling a vacuum to the ground.
Right.
That would be interesting to know.
It'd be interesting.
I'm sure they could figure out a way to give us that information.
Oh, there's easy. If you got, all you just need is a scale pad that would sink the scales down like they got, no biggie. They can find out. The problem is you could literally pull down so hard that it's hard to go forward. Remember, that fan's not pulling forward or pushing forward. It's going down. And when you think about that, there's a tipping point where it's too hard to push. I got too many bricks in the wheelbarrow. So something to think about. It's one of those things. Now back to motors.
Now, here's my question for you on a motor.
Okay.
So, do you like to run the 100K rotor in your Black Can HE? Do you like to run the 100K rotor in your DRK?
DRK build, as I've said several times, is a standard rotor, standard everything except bearings and tuned by Nick. The HE is out of the box with Nick Bell bearings and a oil hole drilled in the back and titanium hardware. That's it. Nothing. I have ran every version that you can run, mixed and matched and all this. And here's what I'll tell you. You can get torque from a motor, you can get torque from FDR, or you can get torque from the ESC. It's up to you to figure out which suits what you're doing. I mean, to me, a lot of the art, I'm going to say this and it's going to be controversial.
Yeah, he's only got one battery in that car, Larry. Sorry.
Yeah. So it only runs off one battery, guys. So that was another thing I said. He has to only have to use one power source.
He's running legit. He's running to the rules.
He was as legit into every little piece of shit thing I could throw shade wise at him to say, I want him fine. He can have it, but it can't do this, this, and this. He met every criteria. He met every criteria without even a whimper. So kudos to them. But on the motor side of things, if you run, I'll say this, and I'm going to catch flack for it because it goes against what just happened this weekend. Tit for tat, the Ghost is the stoutest, most powerful ESC we're running. The R1 is the most refined.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I take this motor right here. It will run harder with less FDR with a Ghost than an R1. Now, I know somebody's going to say, I dispute that. Tom might dispute that. I'm just talking about from personal, 100% personal here, guys. And it's not because I run for Ghost. That don't make the Ghost better because it makes more power to a point. What it means is
it's a purpose-built ESC.
The R1 is a more fragile ESC in the current state of open prep. If you go run dry tire or limited prep, an R1's never going to have no trouble. You know, just point blank. So, you know, and think about this, guys. The R1 was never built to do what it does.
The Ghost is purpose-built for what we're using it for.
Yes, it is. You know, it's castled. So, you know, I would tell people FDR is a huge tuning tool. You got to understand what FDR does. When you lower it, you're putting more demand on the motor, period. If you go from a 10.5 to a 9.6 FDR, you're asking the motor to exude more torque and power to run the same ET as a 10.5. And it also changes your tune. Some people might be, hey, I don't know, floating. Ronnie, you ask about floating body mounts on a pro stock. I don't think they're allowed. Some places might. Some places might allow it. Some places don't. Most places don't.
I think Jason's in here with his rules for the pro stock for their series. I don't know if they're allowing for floating body mounts on that car.
No, I think they have to be stationary mount.
Yeah.
But yes, Ronnie, if your rule set allows you to run a floating body mount, run it. Period.
Absolutely. I noticed
now you might know. I noticed when changing the FDR, my horsepower was going up. So I want to say this correctly. So the most torque you will produce from a brushless, this motor right here, is right before stall. And what I mean by stall, right before the rotor ceases to move. It won't turn. You've done bound it up. The motor is trying to regurgitate the most torque, which is putting the most load on the battery and the hardware. So when you go up in FDR, you kind of do get free horsepower in a way. It's not, this motor will only make so much horsepower. Let's say it makes 5 horsepower. I don't give a shit. 5 horsepower is 5 horsepower. How you access that 5 horsepower during the course of a 1.3 to 1.7 second run, depending on your class, is all that matters. How you tap into it. So if you're running in the mud bog, I do not suggest that you run less than a 10.5, 10.6 at the minimum. There'll be somebody after, I run a 9.5 and come out of it. Well, by God, I'm going to call you Missouri. Show me. Show me that you run a 9.6 FDR and you're considered a contender at a national level, not your home track that doesn't get that shitty.
Yes.
Because I've told everybody I run a 9.6 to a 10 flat FDR, just depending on where I'm at in dry tire / limited prep, because I don't have all the shit to run through, so I can get away with it. And I tune my motor to a certain RPM window. And FDR can help you accept timing in the ESC, or it will make you mad and burn shit up in the ESC.
You don't do it right.
So if you like to run a bunch of time, and let's say 110, 112, 120 degrees total, you need to be on higher FDR, because the motor needs to turn more RPMs to accept that timing properly. If you're running 65, 70 total, I'm talking, when I say total, guys, I'm talking can plus what's in the ESC.
I don't think, it's funny you say that, because it's like, I think some people forget that they got can timing. You go in their stuff and they're like, oh, I got 50 here and I got 58 degrees here. And I'm like, how much is on the can? Oh, I don't know. I mean,
like I said, most of mine are on average, let's just call it an average 30. Some of the guys Other motor builders, they're down 16 to 20.
Yeah. I have different motors for different, situations.
Right.
Some of mine are down 14, between 14 and 18. Some of them are 26 to 32.
On the motorizer, guys, I'll tell you this right now. On the motorizer, if you'll go put it on 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and record all the stuff, you'll start seeing a pattern. You'll get higher amp draw in the motor at startup with low timing. The amp draw number will be higher. Once you get to around 25, now this is on my motorizer. Each motorizer I'm talking about a cat hair different. Not much, but a cat hair. I've noticed around 25, that's the lowest the amp draw will be. And what I do is I keep trying to put a little in it to get that RPM up without a significant amp draw. On mine, my amp draw is usually never 3.8. And my phase currents are within 0.3 of one another, top to bottom. I don't worry about the pole to pole, even though they're good. I've got some like the Dallas motor, the motor I ran out last year, was 0.1 deviation.
Yep.
And was 0.18 phase currents deviation, which let's just say it was 2.0 to 2.18. That's tight. So I have seen motors that'll be like 1.5 degrees off, be like 1 or 1.5 deviation, but you go look at the phase currents and they're all within that 2.5, 0.3 together.
Yep.
The phase currents mean more to me. Some motor builders might disagree. I'm okay with that. Nobody opinions like assholes. Everybody got one.
Everybody got one. Some of them stink.
So I'll tell you this. As long as you stick somewhere between 25 and 35, you're going to be fine. Now, some people might want to run lower can. Okay. I don't care what the can says. I care what the motorizer tells me about.
If it tells you 20 on the can, I guarantee you it's not 20 on the can.
I'm gonna be honest.
It could be close.
My R1 motors are within 1 degree. If it says 30 on the can, it's 29 or 31. Hey, I feel that's good manufacturing. The DRKs, I've had them 2 degrees seems to be the standard. 2 degrees off. Okay. No
I've
big
had
deal.
them where they're like, whoop, just way off.
I've heard of people having them, down there in the Boogerwood. So, and on the 20th. So here's what I tell people. If you don't feel comfortable monkeying with motors, there's services out there. Use them. Chris at Pinky Tuned. Nick used to do them, but I think Smashy still does stuff.
AJ from Exalt, David Dunn, like you said, Pinky.
There's plenty. Pick one. You're not gonna run out of people to do it. I tell you that.
No.
Because people like to take money, and it's an easy way to make money.
Brockwell does them too for you guys too as well.
Yep. So, Tommy, why don't you run the Ghost motor? I am Ghost sponsored.
Doesn't fit his program.
Not enough ass. I know people are going to say, well, super. That's super. For me and my tuning, the DRK seems to fit what I do better than the Ghost. I have run a Ghost. I had 2 of the baddest damn Ghost motors there were, but I break rotors in them because I overturn them. So should you use more or less FDR with lower timing in the motor? So, okay. When you lower the timing in the motor, Larry, because I know, Larry, you're a dry tire / you're going to be limited prep guy. Lower timing means more torque, means lower RPM capabilities and make power. So let's say my motor will turn 93, 94,000, no problem. I got everything set up to do that. When you run lower timing, it moves your, let's say you run 15 on the can and we run the same amount in the ESC. Let's say we run 15 in the can, 70 degrees total in the ESC for 85 degrees. You're going to have torque to make speed. And you can do that in dry tire or / limited. In prep, you need timing, you need FDR. You can't, the torque ain't going to overcome the mud people run in. So does a higher KV motor draw more amps? No. You take a 7500 DRK versus a 6600, they can draw the same amp draw, but the 7500 will not have the torque the 6600 has, but the 6600 will not turn naturally the same RPM. Like, it's a difference between a small block and a big block, guys. Your 6600, 6400 to 6700 kV range big blocks are like dump truck motors. They're like dump truck motors. That's what they are. They're dump truck motors. And so they're like, oh, and they're done. So in order to turn them up, you have to get after them a little bit.
Mike.
There's a lot of things to me, it makes more sense to run a Ghost or 7500 kV DRK in dry tire / limited. It's an easier motor to control. But I think obviously last year I figured out a really good way to control the big block. I understand tuning. I understand certain aspects of what I need to do what I want. And Mike brings up a good point. It's not as prevalent in these motors in the 4-pole as it is with 2-pole. He talks about rotor length and size changes. You know, in a 2-pole, you can get 11.5 diameter all the way up to 13.5 diameter, you know, certain lengths and stuff, and all the Gauss of the rotor, all that means stuff. Okay, so like 2-pole days, 3.0 versus a 5.0. In a way, yes. Kind of in a way, the difference being 3.0 with low timing versus 3.0 with high timing requires two different FDRs, requires two different styles of tuning. I'm a super, and everybody, I've 100%, 1,000 said my tune 1,000 times, and I ain't going to get into it. I'm not going to repeat it, and I'm not going to answer it. Go back and find it, guys. Use the search functions. My tune will go 2 flat, or it'll go 145 and never change the ESC. Just use the radio.
It's on the radio, boys.
You got to understand your radio too. But with motor, I personally, if you don't want to spend the money, you know, for a built motor, that's fine. Go buy a motor stock out of the box. Put the mark on 30. It should be close. Most manufacturers are going to be close. Bolt it in and go race. I promise you, it's not, you know, I ain't going to say that a tuned motor is not the end all be all. The difference, like the tuned motor, what you're looking at is
efficiencies,
and a lot of them, a tuned motor just runs better out the back door because it's set up to do it.
Yep.
So, would you say the sweet spot for around KV? No, Clay, I got one DRK at 7,100 KV and 6,600. Yeah, I know what I want.
They're all kind of different.
Yep. Put the motor on 30. I hate to say it, Tony, but in my opinion, the Futaba is a little more user friendly in its speed and point function because it's direct. With the Sanwa, you have to pick a negative number, then add EPA. It works the same. Don't get me wrong, but
just different way to skin a cat on that one.
Different way to skin a cat. I've got a couple topics for next week. I've been thinking about. I mean, we can talk about it. I can tell you, everybody, that I was a huge negative 96 and add EPA to the car. That's what I did all the time with Sanwa. Negative 96 seemed to be a spot in the radio that you could make adjustments and not go, huh? Why did it do that? Like, why did it feel like it jumped a whole bunch or didn't? I know
Jason,
people,
I agree with you, Jason. If you're running on like 3-speed, yeah, it could be a little easier to fine tune it.
I personally, the sand wall, I know people that used to click down negatives till it spun, then would go back up and EPA it. That's what they did. I remember Jay Joseph in Alabama getting down to negative 91, if I'm not mistaken, at the Battle of the Blacktop. You know, that was a good race till the man screwed people. I wish that had a great venue, but that's beside the point. That was a great deal. Even the town loved it, but little did they know the man took it. Took a little off the top of the pot. Jason's right. Futala, I don't run 3-speed. I run 2. Sandwall easier to tune. Shit, you done got in some of that peyote out there, hadn't you? There's no way a Sandwall's easier to tune. You pick how many speeds you want with Futaba. I run mine like a power glide. That I haven't hit that from anybody. You pick the point. You pick the point, and you pick the speed. Boom. You don't have to think, negative this plus this equals that. No, none of that. Reading ESC graphs would be a good discussion. It would be. It's a little used tool. And part of it is me. I'll pull some logs in the race weekend early, but if your tune doesn't change and you've got historical data, you just know. Tom, I bet you Tom doesn't have to look at a log to know what a car's doing.
No,
he knows. Let's say Tom says choose this graph and put this in the radio. He knows what that log should look like if you're running the correct FDR with his motor. He knows it. Sometimes he might tell you, go check the log to see if you got a problem. Sometimes you just use the log as a sanity check.
Yeah,
a lot of people like the 3-speed. Yep. I'm not fast enough to run the 3-speed, Jason. I'm just old slow guy. Futaba good and smooth. Sandwall it can be aggressive. That's why I say negative 96, because the jumps aren't as big and it's a little finer to tune. Which Futaba? The 710, the 7PX, 7PXR, 10PXR will all do the same thing. The only difference with the upgraded software, if you was to want to run a P curve, in the Futaba, you get 20 points with a 10. You only get 10 points to adjust the P curve with a 7. So small difference, but with the Sandwall, you only get 10 P curve points, P1 through 9. So you only get 9.
Anyways.
That's all you kind of need. I think you'll see that, guys, you can get in your head too much with some of this technology.
I can tell you guys right now, there's a guy in this community that is very fast, still uses P numbers in his radio.
Yep. Now, P numbers, you got to be a smart dude. I'm going to be honest with you. You really have to be a really super smart guy to run P numbers, because you need to understand it. So, Freddie, efficiency range, you're looking at voltage. That's a good indicator of efficiency. Good numbers on a R1 are 769, 771 out back. The numbers are about 1 to 2 tenths lower in a Ghost. Just remember, guys, these ESCs are being assembled. They're not calibrated per se at a national calibration standard level. So, used to, I had one R1 that read 550 amps every time.
No matter what you did.
No matter what it did. The next R1, 380 to 415. Now, the one good thing about it, when you get an R1 and it would slow down and only go 200 amps, she was done. Put her up, put her to bed. Junior is the man to talk to about Sandwall. I don't think Junior will tell you. No, he ain't going to tell you. He'd be a damn fool to tell you. I thought Junior was on a Futaba.
He's on a Sandwall.
Okay.
And he runs P numbers.
Yeah. so Junior knows some stuff.
Oh, Junior knows some stuff.
Like I said, Tommy,
You put bigger wires off the
So
ESC.
yes, when I ran R1, they were all upgraded. I run all 8 gauge on my Ghost. There is a lot of stuff in the community, you know, that says, oh, you got to run 6 gauge. We need to run battery cables off of Studebaker. Let me explain something to you. What you're looking for is find you the best, lowest resistance 8 gauge wire money can buy, and you're going to be fine. Don't run the speaker wire out of a damn 1970 something Plymouth. Go get you a quality wire. Dean's makes quality wire. Accelerate makes quality wire. Acer has quality wire.
Yep.
I can go on and on and on. Find you a good quality wire, high strand count, pure oxygen free copper. You're gonna be fine. Don says
this is the Fly Sky Noble.
Yeah.
I will tell you, so I actually have a really good close racer, a friend of mine, David Brown. He runs that exact radio, and what we found with that is because of the way they tune, there isn't a number. It doesn't. You have to know how fast to go from 0 to 100%. So you can adjust your throttle pull in there to 0.7, 0.5, point this, point that. It's not numbers. So in that situation, it's I think it can be easier if you really want to put the time into it.
Well, so let's talk about that. Since you can't run a point in the Fly Sky,
yeah.
No big deal.
Nope.
Let me explain to y'all. It doesn't mean anything. What it means is you don't have the ability to move your leave power up in the radio. You got to go move your leave power up in the ESC.
ESC.
And what I mean by that is, let's say your first dot's on 30. That's what you leave off of in a Fly Sky. Where if I've got my first dot at 30 and I've got 10 point in the car, it means I'm leaving a little further up the ramp in a Futaba. All right. So what that means is this right here, guys. It means you're going to have to go in there, and if you want more power to leave, you're going to have to go in there and raise first dot in a Fly Sky. That's the only thing it means. So you don't have the ability, you will not be able to be at the line and make that adjustment like I can if I go, oh shit, I don't like the way this looks. I need to lower my point, raise my point. It's the only difference. Is it a disadvantage? Yeah, a little. It's not nothing you can't overcome. You can win with it.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Nozzle. Amazon may not have the wire you're looking for unless it's one of the brands I mentioned. Let's see.
Oh.
Like bigger wire on the ESCs we went over. New 12S. What Jason 12S, what is that? Is it talking about Spectrum?
P numbers. Way better than the number. Yeah. If your Pro has the P numbers, then you're set.
Yeah, I know some of the Nobles are a little more simple, budget minded, whatever, and then some they got some complication on.
If you got P numbers, man,
if you got P numbers, you can overcome what I just talked about.
Yes, you're able to make those adjustments right there on the fly.
Learn your radio, guys. Your radio is your best friend.
I started with P numbers when we first started this.
I did that. Me and Jay ran P numbers for a while.
Yep.
And here's what I told people: P numbers and then exotic curves in the ESC, no bueno. You'll hit yourself in the damn back of the M12 is what he's running. Yeah, okay. I missed it. Start the show all over. No biggie. You can go back and watch it on reruns. 12S is the new San Juan.
Yeah, I thought that was a 17S.
Yeah, well, M17 is what I had.
Yeah, what I have.
Yeah. So M12 is that's got to be an older model, right?
Yeah, that's the older. That's the older model. Yeah.
Oh, look at there, Junior just popped up. No, it's the M17. Yeah, the
That's what I thought.
M17S.
Yes.
M17S. I didn't have an S. I just said M17. So
He's
maybe
fancy.
it's so that's
He's
the
fast guy.
M17. Yeah, like just whatever equipment you have for tuning, learn it. Just learn it. Learn how to use every function. Junior doesn't seem to have a problem. Matt uses 12.
He's a teammate of mine. His son, Mark's kid, actually uses the 12, and he actually does very well with it. I mean, guys, some of the older radios can still be used. Obviously, they don't have all the fancy touch screens and stuff like that, but don't really need all that to go fast. Let's be honest.
I'll be honest with you too. A radio, and I didn't understand it. I had a KO Propo when I first started drag racing.
Woo. Those are some nice radios.
And the KO Propo was more than all. The KO Propo was ahead of its time. I had trans brake on it. What else? It had 3 speeds, everything. It had everything in it. I just didn't understand how to use it at the time. Yes, Freddie. Run 8 gauge. You'll see mile an hour difference, a little bit of ET. If you want to go to 6 gauge, but 6 gauge is heavy, and I would implore you to find a really good 8 gauge oxygen-free copper wire with ultra low resistance. That's what I run. I've got some 6 gauge wire, standard 6 gauge wire. My 8 gauge wire has as good resistance as 6 gauge, and at a slightly less weight penalty to run 8 gauge versus 6. I won't tell you how much the difference is, but somebody changed their wire out and lost a lot of weight. You know. Let's see, acts as a heat sink, keeps the ESC cooler too. Yes, to a point. I don't, Jason. I don't think y'all are running. I don't think y'all are running 6 gauge on the R1s. I don't think they'll fit.
Yeah, you might want to get with Mike
On the
Bush
motor
and pick up a
wires.
good solder in there.
Salter.
Oh, that's a solder.
Salter. Yeah. See, Mike spells it right. Solder,
Mhm.
ING. You know, I might accent. 12. That's what I you know, to be honest with you, in oval racing, I was a Futaba man, then swapped over to the Sanwa, had good success with it, ran good with it, won a bunch of stuff. Tommy, when are we going back to Pickens? I don't know what Pickens is doing, Hammer. Don't know. 6 power 8 motor, yeah.
Background.
I do have a question. Nah, I won't bring that question up. I'll ask Anthony when we get off air. I don't think it's something that I want to repeat on air.
And we'll talk about it
But
afterwards.
just a big courtesy. We're from the South.
Yeah.
SOUF. And if you're from above the Mason-Dixon, you're from the North, NORF.
Yes.
Anybody, Anthony, what body is that in your background, Anthony? Jamie Bennington wants to know.
Yeah, I see his comment. So that is actually a pro mod body. But there's a really good chance it might be coming to a track near you. Seacoast.
Right. So
now,
there's
we're
always
not name dropping who might be having a part of it. Maybe Tommy's dream might come true one day.
Maybe.
But that is what you see might be coming to a track near you, depending on how busy things happen and things. Yeah, we got some stuff going on.
Yes. It is the money development in our side of the sport right now is not what it was 2-3 years ago. And it's anywhere from $1,600 to $4,000 to get a mold made. There are cheaper ways to get molds made. And 3D printing is helping that a lot. So, you know, you got to think of what it takes to put out a new body, the financial cost to recoup. If you buy a $50 body and the guy's got 25 in it, and then he's got dealer and all that, he's got to sell a little body. He's got to sell a load of bodies just to break even. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. It is extremely badass.
I believe that's Tyler. That was on Tyler Z's
It
Facebook,
is.
was it not? Okay.
So like I have talked to the guy who makes this body, and then I seen it come across Tyler's thing, and I'm like, you know what? Those are my colors. So I was like,
Couldn't
well,
tell.
you know,
Couldn't tell.
never knew. But it's funny because I mean, sometimes when we first started this, obviously everybody just relied on their manufacturers to do what they do. Now we have a lot of third party people who make things and do things, and they're always trying. That's
Yep.
essentially what's going to happen with this here behind us. Collab a bunch of different people. We're going to try to have some fun, see what we can do. Um, I would personally love to see something like that. I know a handful of people that would love to see something like that.
Yeah. Something different or new doesn't hurt the sport.
No.
Let's see. Motor wise, we kind of covered a lot of things. Like motor, pick one, learn it. I mean, you can go all the way from what's a brand new? I don't even know what a new motor costs. That's been bad.
So I'm pretty sure an R1
150,
black can
160.
like 150, maybe 160.
So
Volta level 3 is 130,
you
maybe
can
140.
you can spend, let's say, 140 for a brand new motor. That's kind of average.
Mhm.
You can buy them from 140. I want to say Tom Rockwell on his super duper motor is 375.
Okay. That's if you buy it directly from him, yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, so there's a budget for everybody. If you want to pay 375, or if you just want one out of the box, pick one. Tom builds a great product.
Yes.
Chris at Pinky, great product. Lots of great products from a lot of different motor builders. Get one that you works with you and understands your needs. When I tell Nick, I said, just make sure it don't get passed down straight away. That's what I used to tell him. That's why, I never worried about horsepower. I still don't. I mean, I don't get flustered or worried about any of that. Volta, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. It's
385. I'm sorry. Very sorry. I quickly got.
they're all good motors, guys.
Yeah. I don't know who does Junior's motors, but Junior didn't seem to have a problem running fast.
Yep.
Jason won. That's a Rockwell motor, I'm sure, in his drive or limited prep. By the way, old Jason Beam, where you might say that Keyshawn was affected in a negative way by the old turbo prop, Jason
look.
Beam's light was positively affected by the turbo prop because
He said, I got to go.
he needed all he could because the turbo car got that ass. They got sucked up in the damn grill of that one. A 165 to 170 whole shot win is good driving, Jason, by the way. Oh, congratulations to Junior and JB for making the finals. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Junior, on his win. Jason and the turbo fan car, great job. Jason taking a win on a whole shot. Sometimes the driver's got to make up for what the car can't. And Jason did it all. No stock motor. Well, there you go, guys. Man won with stock motor. How do you go about building a tune? That was covered in an episode or so back.
Yes.
There's some starting points that every manufacturer's reps can give you. Tom sells tuning packages. I'm sure there's a couple more guys that sell tuning packages for the R1. For the Ghost, there's some starting points out there. There's some literature, stuff like that.
I mean, just go, like you said, use a search bar, find Tommy's tune. It's all over the internet.
Yeah, it's probably the most basic, anything you're going to run across. Yes, that is a foam tire body.
It is, but it won't be for long.
So in the Ghost RC, I know there's some videos, the RC Car Shack. There's some videos that JFab's put out. I'm sure there's some R1 videos somebody has put out, talks about some basics. Mark Vine has got some videos. You know what we really need to do? We need
Mark
to
Vine's
talk.
even got the radio tunes, the P
Yep,
curves.
he sure
And
do.
yeah, he has. That's actually a really good video. You guys can go back. It's
So
gonna take you a minute to get it, but it's good.
you know what we ought to do?
Hmm.
We need to find a way to build a Facebook library of some knowledge. And what I mean by knowledge, like some of Mark's videos, some of these, and place them under
Yes.
tabs and stuff. And that's all it is. And it's curated by one person or a couple people. I think there's some beneficial stuff that, because I have a lot of people that ask me in the background this and that, that aren't their names that I don't. I'm not being mean. I don't know you. I've never met you at the racetrack, but you're trying to learn how to do this. I think that could be everything. Freddie, no problem, buddy. We try to trying to help the sport out a little bit and give like the workbench. We'll let Travis interview the winners. He gets all the glory. We get all the hard lifting. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Jeff Zuccarello has a couple videos about the tuning.
Yep.
I think Jeff may have some prep videos. I know there's some prep videos of me setting tires on fire in my house. There's some more videos in the Red Monster. There's more videos in the for the Get Stuck crowd. There's guys. The information's out there. Just all we gotta do is just learn how to access it. I think we need to figure out a way to build that library, like I'm talking. I don't have the time to build it. I am not a computer guy. That's something for somebody that likes to geek out. You have tabs, tire prep, chassis, ESC, and then something like that. We could figure out pinned type deals. Motor wise, run what you want, guys. Get with your guy. Understand your tune. Understand you can have the right tune for the wrong can timing, and you could have the right can timing for the wrong tune, so to speak. Radio.
Very common.
Radio is what it is. We're going to come up. We talk about logs next week. I think I got some other things I want to talk about. If I get any more topics, just send them out. I think we've all set tires on fire.
Yeah.
I agree. Far. Damn tires on fire. FARR. So I personally think that some of the things we cover tonight is pick a body, pick a good wing package, mount it correctly, mount it squarely, mount it firmly. Motors, I know Super and them love the Ghost motor. They are in love with it. There's other people.
They make it work for. They make it work for them.
Right. That's what I'm saying, guys. This right now, you kind of, if you go the small block route, there's a way to be fast. You go the big block route, there's a way to be fast. And you can't break the laws of physics with them. There's no There's no intercommingling that works. It is what it is. How do you get that search your name? This shit, I don't know.
It's actually on your Facebook page.
Yeah, I mean, it's on my Facebook page. I've done some lives. You could just go back through all my stuff. You have to scroll through. I've been on some lives, and it's got stuff like that. I typically what you see of my tune, if you go back and find it, you'll be able to use it. I am not at liberty to give that tune out anymore, as of it's somewhat mine and somewhat somebody else's. They don't want it give out anymore, and I'm okay with that. But it's in the background, and it's the oldest Ghost tune known to man. So there's your hints. It's really the oldest Ghost tune that was ever publicly advertised. Green can is pretty nasty with the right. Yes, Jamie.
Yeah.
Once you take the wrapped rotor out, so you don't blow them up, you put a good rotor on them. The green can castles are super competitive. You'll find out in limited prep or dry tire, sometimes more is not better.
I think I did hear a little rumor of some Texas boys playing around with some limited prep. Could that be true?
Well, I mean, I don't know where they would have got the knowledge to run it at, but yeah, there's some Texas folk.
There's some Texas folk I hear running some pretty decent numbers with some limited prep. It's going to be interesting to see them show up some races coming up soon. That's for sure. Guys, you got March Madness coming up end of the month. Then after that, I think it's Redemption, if I'm not mistaken.
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, it's
I believe it's 2
Redemption.
weeks later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you go end of March.
Yep.
And then you go, I think, 10th, 11th, 12th, something like
Yes.
that. So
Yes.
it's basically 2 weeks later.
Guys, let's go. Let's support these races. Let's get out. Let's have fun.
Yep. And then one of the granddaddies of them all is in May. Tulsa.
Yep.
At a new location. The Super Chip will be at a new location this year. And then I'm right about that. I'm right. It is in a new location, Anthony?
I think so. I think it is.
I don't think it's at the Expo Center.
Nope.
And then we'll be going to Illinois for the Midwest Classic. And then it's the let's see here.
There's Hillbillies in there, isn't there?
There's Hillbilly. And then the Super. There's 6 races total. Make sure we got them. So Desert Classic kicks it off.
Yep.
Then we're going to go to Redemption. Then we're going to go to Super Chip. Then we're going to go to Illinois for the Midwest. Then we're going to go to the Hillbilly. Then the Super Race. That's 6 races.
6 races.
Ding, 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 ding.
Guys, and
Anthony,
yes,
don't you have a question to ask?
Oh, I do. So, this is going to apply for the Red Monster side for people using their prep or interested in using their prep. Amazing prep. Used to run it. Love the stuff. It's great. You got first person that can tell us in this here while we're still sitting here, how many active products, drag race products, does Steve have from Red Monster?
First correct answer wins what, Anthony?
They're gonna get to pick their prep from Steve. You can message him. I'll message him. Tommy will message him. I've already talked to him. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we like to support people who support us. And next week I'll do Jeff's. I didn't forget about you, Jeff. Sorry, bud. So we see 9. We got 6. 30. No.
Keep going, guys.
You can keep going.
You can just keep putting numbers in. We didn't limit your entries.
Yeah. I mean, you just start from the bottom and work your way up, or however you want to go. 34.
Remember, this is for the drag race only. Ooh, close.
Ooh.
Close. I ain't going to say who's close, though.
He might want to be careful, though.
Like I said, I counted how many. I could even be wrong, but we're going with the number I counted.
Yes.
So, Brad Bray is the winner.
Brad Bray. Here we go. Message one of us, Tommy, myself, Gary. We'll get you taken care of. Guys.
So Steve has 15 in the Red Monster line. Just to give it a quick rundown, you have Hydra Light, Silly String, Original, Black Label, Dry Rub. You've got in the conditioner side of it that goes in the drag deal. You've got Black Magic Plus. You've got Angel Dust. We keep going on. Silly String, like I said, about 15 products is what I counted up. 73. There's a lot of products. Next week we'll do Mr. Zuccarello, the Get Stuck. We'll do that right there.
Yes.
We'll Jeff's got a lot of products too. Also, for the Red Monster guys, people that maybe dabble in everything, he has stuff for off-road, he has stuff for oval. He has stuff aftershock for you guys that like to run the side hustle cars, as I call them, 7th and 8th scale. Side hustles. So there's, he's got a prep for it. Guys, it's, there's a flavor for everything. He even offers for you people that just want to try PJ1 a 4-ounce bottle of it. You sound like Bubba. Go low lace. I might have seen. I don't know. Justin might have seen me out this weekend somewhere. I ain't gonna say where he'd have seen me out, but it might have had something to do with these right here,
Golf. Oh yeah. I figured that's how I was gonna come out.
I told Justin. I told Lowe. Excuse me. Call him by.
Sounds like a dispensary list.
Yeah, I ain't trying to call him by his government name. So I want to have a RC drag race golf tournament somehow, some way. There's a lot of us that actually play golf also.
There is.
And I think it would be a damn hoot to play golf.
Make it a 2-day, 1 day of drag race and 2 days of golf, because you know you're going to drink halfway through and have to start over next day.
Let me tell you. Fellas, sounds like a dispensary list.
Yeah.
That's 2 times this year. So Brad Bray he's won a couple things. But yeah, I absolutely believe a little golfing would be good. I kind of wish we had a venue like Las Vegas. Somebody would hold a race.
Next to the Top Golf facility.
Well, there's so many places out in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody gets there a day or so early. We could go golf on a Thursday, race Friday and Saturday. I tell people, if you're going to go to a Vegas race, get there on Tuesday. Everybody's like,
yeah,
wow.
enjoy your time.
Dude, I would fly out of GSP at Scramble Spartanburg here at 5:45, 6 in the morning. You wind up landing 9 o'clock, 9:30 Vegas time, which is 3 hours back. You're in a rental car and could be at the hotel before the hotel would even let you get in. You do that. I went to the Carol. I'm a huge Ford guy. Went to the Shelby of America. Walked around, did their little tour and all that stuff. It's great. What we might do is maybe I don't know, Low, the weekend before the Hillbilly or something like that or whatever. I mean, I know some of the local. It's easier for the local guys. There's a lot of us that do it. 9-hole course. Everybody gets a 9-iron and a putter. Jamie, that's not a bad thing. Depends on how far you hit your 9-iron. I know how far I hit my 9-iron, and I'd be in trouble on a long par 3. I can't get over 145 with a 9-iron, which is pretty damn good considering most of America don't hit but 100 yards with a 9-iron. Damn tour players are 180 with a 9-iron. Some shit like that, 165. Piss you off, but I'm old and I'm 48. Fat, slow.
I just don't care as much.
Yeah, slow, slew-footed. So, 12 products. So, it's a pretty good deal, guys. What we're talking about tonight with Aero and motors. Get you something. I would encourage y'all to also think about this. Use the people that sponsor the things that you like to do. Like when you see the sponsors on the races, like out there, number one, the sponsor bridge, I would call it, over the racetrack in Tucson. Loved it. Thought it was the greatest shit since sliced bread. Absolutely love it. Think it's brings a side of professionalism, what we do. But I want you to go back and look at all the people that sponsored on that, and you need to patronize those people. You need to support them, because those are the people that are supporting what you love to do. So when somebody says, well, why don't you, blah, 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 or why aren't you using this or that? Well, do they put any money into what I do? Do they sponsor? I ain't talking about, they ain't got to pay $5,000 sponsor. Do they, maybe give some free product or something like that every now and then? If they're not sponsoring what you love to do, don't use your money with them. I have on one. 2-pole motors are strong as running this setup. Don? I would tell you just to, if you could, go to a 4-pole. That makes your life easier. And it don't have to be a built 4-pole. Just buy you a standard 4-pole. If you've already got the R1 ESC, you're fine. Go to a
So I can
4-pole.
tell you those 3-turn motors actually were a lot of demise of a lot of people's R1s.
Yeah, you had to lean on it hard to make them run.
You had to lean on them really, really hard to get what you needed out of them, and it wasn't worth it.
Even though there for a while I ran a 2.0.
Yeah.
And made it live, no problem. And ran 10 degrees of boost and 58 degrees of turbo.
I used to whine the hell out of those things, that's for sure.
14.8 FDR.
Every time.
115, 120,000. Just and it was actually kind of smooth, to be honest with you. Smooth power because you had so much FDR in it. That's another thing FDR does. A lot of FDR will smooth the motor out because it makes it have mechanical advantage, and it doesn't have to produce its own torque. It runs off mechanical torque of the leverage of the mechanical torque. 3.0 with DRK with 12.5 rotor. You living on borrowed time. And DRK will gain its wings.
It's gone.
Yeah. So, guys, any show ideas, whatever you want to talk about? Reading logs has kind of come up. I really want to talk to somebody about how they read logs, have some different opinions and views. Get somebody on here with that. I got a couple of ideas in mind, but anything else anybody wants to cover, please just message us in the background. That's how this come about. We went from chassis flex to ESC and radio tuning, motors, aerodynamics, tires. We will not talk about prep.
Oh,
we will not have hey guys, we're going to dedicate a show to showing you how to prep. And I'm going to tell you why. It gets too many people stirred up, and there's so many if and buts for candy and nuts. We'd all have a good Christmas type situations you run into. The way Junior preps is obviously different than others. The way Rick preps, Talbot's different. The way Anthony preps, it's all different, and it's all so subjective. It's not worth having the "you doing it wrong" debate. I want to hear that. We're not about this. We're the workbench, not the prep bench. We're more on the mechanical side of stuff. We'll cover some topics.
Sticky.
Yeah. Batteries and watts per hour. You know what, Clay? I like that show topic right there. We can tie batteries and a little bit of log reading, but if we're going to talk about reading logs, I really, really want a more in-depth breakdown of it. So, guys, we'll talk about some batteries next week. That's all I've got. Anthony, another good show as usual.
Yes, sir, man. I'm ready to go eat some food.
He's ready to go eat. Gary's ready to go to bed, and I'm ready to go to bed, guys. So, hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Next Monday, you know the topic, batteries and what it means to you. Guys, have a good night.
Thanks for watching The Workbench, and hope to see you next week.